so much easier to say I'm in debt because of my mom, or I'm not in school because of my dad, or I'm not in this because I didn't get the promotion because I'm sabotaged at work, or it's so much easier to say that than to say I'm not hardworking enough, I'm always arriving late, I'm the first person to leave, I don't bring stuff on time, I'm not approachable, I'm not a team player, I don't take criticism well. Like, it's so much easier to say it's their fault than it is to come back and be like, I'm actually a difficult person to deal with, so let me see how can I work around that and be better, do better, and then see if maybe the results will come out better. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mbali and I am your host for Power Circle Conversations. And in today's conversation, I want to remind you that it's your fault. It is completely your fault. And it's actually nice knowing that. I think for me it became really comforting just sitting in that, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why I think there's so much power in knowing that it is your fault. Okay, a lot of people generally, we don't like hearing that anything that has gone wrong in our spaces is as a result of ourselves and our own decisions, but it only helps you go forward so much better just understanding that it's actually your fault. So I'll get to explaining that properly, but there's actually, like yesterday, I'm still reading the book that I was telling you about the last time in one of my last videos. The last one. Yeah, anyway, in the last video, because I take a while to finish a book. Like, I'm not the type of person that finishes a book in one day. It's just, I don't know, it's not me. And it's because I'm intentional about reading books, right? I don't think I read books for fun. I do enjoy it, but I don't think I read them really for fun. I read them for information. And so sometimes I'll read 10 pages, 20 pages today. Sometimes I'll read 3 pages and I'll stop there and be like, there's information over here that I need to sit and digest. I'll highlight in the book, I'll go and take notes, and I'll write down how I'm supposed to restructure my thinking of the way that I've been doing things according to the new insights that I've received now from the book. Because more than anything, I like picking in people's brains, and I think getting to read a book helps you have insight on how the next person was thinking, right? And literally, this is amazing because it's like having conversations with people from different parts of the planet and with different ways of thinking and different ways of doing things, and realizing how I can implement them into my own space while digesting and dissecting exactly like which parts really am I going to take in, because I know myself, right? I understand myself better. So I'm just saying, okay, I'm willing to learn. So I'm going to take in this part, I'm going to take in that part, and then that's going to be part of the way that I do things going forward. Excuse me, the way that I run business going forward, or whatever else that I feel like doing. All right. So there's a part in this book as well that I saw and I liked, and I wanted to like show you. Are you okay? Okay. Okay. And read out to you, because actually I had prepared for some time that I wanted to have this video and to have this conversation, but I was surprised when I got to this part of the book yesterday while I was busy reading, and I was like, oh, okay, this shows that it's actually like it's a necessary conversation to be having. So I'm going to read out that part to you. Okay, let me go back to where I marked and then see where competition, yeah, pride, purpose, no, there, okay. I highlighted it, right? It says each of us must take responsibility for where we are in our financial situation, in our relationships, in our career, because it is our decisions that put us there. We have the power of choice and are responsible for those choices. Garrett, Garrett. Sorry for a bit of the noise. My mama's coming in and out. So, and this paragraph, literally the headline of it is take responsibility for your actions. And it's because, like, honestly, guys, a lot of people, yo, guys, let me see. There's actually a quote here. Life ultimately. Ooh. Life ultimately means taking the responsibility to find the right answers to its problems and to fulfill the tasks which it constantly sets for each individual. That's by Viktor Frankl. Wow. And he's like a really popular author and I think motivational speaker and stuff like that. But he passed on in 97. But his work is still like really prevalent to our current way of living life. And literally, I actually like the part that he says tasks which life constantly sets for each individual, which goes back to knowing yourself and taking in information, but being able to say that according to the person that I am, the individual that I am, this is how I'm going to be working with it, and this is how I'm going to take responsibility for my own actions going forward. I wanted to explain this part because I realized that generally as people, like I said, we don't like hearing that it is our fault that we are in certain situations. It's so much easier to say I'm in debt because of my mom, or I'm not in school because of my dad, or I'm not in this because I didn't get the promotion because I'm sabotaged at work, or it's so much easier to say that than to say I'm not hardworking enough. I'm always arriving late. I'm the first person to leave. I don't bring stuff on time. I'm not approachable. I'm not a team player. I don't take criticism well. Like, it's so much easier to say it's their fault than it is to come back and be like, I'm actually a difficult person to deal with. So let me see how can I work around that and be better, do better, and then see if maybe the results will come out better. And your attitude will make results come back better. Like the last time after the video that I posted about does therapy work, literally they are speaking more about your mentality towards therapy than anything. And someone on Facebook messaged me and said for them they don't believe that it works. And I was like, okay, I hear you. um is it because you've always been believing, especially as a black person, that therapy is not really what we need? Like, I remember there's a movie that I was watching with my sister, and this couple, the lady tells her husband that she wants them to go for therapy because her parents are divorced, and she thinks if they went through therapy first, they could have just like worked things out before things went bad. And she wants them to go. And the guy is like, black people don't go to therapy. We go to, what? He's like, we go to the barbershop or we watch the movie Barbershop. Like, and I was like, yo, it actually is quite tricky talking to people about to the black people, or to black people about going to therapy, especially with men, so when he said he doesn't believe in it, the first thing I thought was maybe that's because of the idea that you've been told around it the whole time. So I'm like, is that the reason? And he was like, no, I actually tried it and it didn't work out. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Is there a chance that you put too much pressure on a therapist? And he said there's a chance. I'm paraphrasing it now. I should have written it down before. Yeah. And she was like, no, there's a chance that basically the therapist didn't do her job properly, or his job properly. I don't know. And I just said, okay, because now I'm protecting my peace. Because now I see that you, like, I don't know, like, you want us to go back and forth about how I must tell you that it really works, and you must tell me it don't work because this person didn't make it work. Like, I was like, dog, okay, you know what? That's fine. If you're gonna say it's because they didn't do their job, then they didn't do their job. Here's how I see things. Generally, in every career space, we all know this. There are people that are passionate about what they're doing, and then there are people that really couldn't care about what they're doing. They're doing it just so they can pay their bills, and they didn't have a choice. They sort of just landed there, and they're just like, oh, well, it's going to give me X amount of money, so let me just do it. And when we interact with those people, I think we even see it a lot in customer service, where you're talking to someone that's in customer service line, and the most difficult person to deal with, right? They're the one that is like so much mean energy, angry energy, that it's just like, oh gosh, okay. So we see that a lot, and in every career it's like that. There are people that just generally don't put all their effort into what they're doing. So even with therapists, that's why I say it's about your mentality, so that you'll be able to see if I'm really gelling with this person or not, because I did my part and I'm not getting what I would like to get from here, so let me find somebody else, or I'm gonna work with this person. And there's another video that I made about, are you prepared for therapy? And it's literally about how to put in your effort into making sure that you're getting the most out of your therapy sessions, because it's about you helping yourself. It's literally, you're not there to help the therapist, you're about to help yourself. So you're using the therapist as a tool to help you look at yourself from a different angle so that you can do better by you. So if you go there thinking it's for them and they must have been trained how to read my mind, then you make things a bit difficult. So yeah, this is why I like reading books, because it helps me with seeing insight on human beings. I think my last video I actually said that I'm really bad when it comes to like relationships, maybe not just relationships, but like literally saying in romantic relationships that this is how you keep a man, or how you get a man, and how to maintain a relationship. Guys, I don't know. I don't really sit on that, because for the most part I study human beings and I like gaining information around human beings, and that gets me informed so that I can make better decisions for myself for when I interact with the next human being, whether it's going to be in a romantic situation, or it's going to be with a friend, or it's going to be with my parent. Because the more I understand human beings, the more I actually do better in my relationships, and the more I actually do better in my friendships. But also, the more I do better with my relationship with my parents and my relationship with my sibling. Because I could sit back and be like, parents were on this planet before us, right? So they should know better. But sometimes their reactions are a result of our decisions and the people that we are, and we make it so difficult for them to parent the way they would like to parent, because of the way we react to things, right? The way that we receive information. So it's made me a better person even in that place, to come back and be like, oh, okay, maybe the reason why my relationship with my parents is actually not working out is because I'm doing things in a certain light and I need to work on something on myself. And maybe let me try to fix it and see what happens when the next time I interact with them going forward. And it actually works, because generally as human beings, there's a way that we work, right? As people, right? The more kind you are, the more kind energy you receive, the better you have to offer generally as a person, as in your energy and whatever that you do, the more you attract the same type of light back to you from whoever you are interacting with, from your neighbor, from your friend, from your colleague, from kids, whoever you're interacting with. Like, I remember when my sister was like 2 or 3, we used to have a lot of fights, and I kind of got to a point where I was just like,
this human being is 2, but they know what they're doing. They annoy me right now, and I'm gonna tell.
Because we know 2-year-olds are like, they're aggressive. 2, 3 year olds, they're aggressive because they're trying to figure out life, and they actually at that age are not really scared of adults. They're not. You're the one as an adult who will know the hierarchy, that, oh, okay, with my mom I have to have a certain respect, my dad I need to have a respect, and I'm a child, and okay, fine, when I get to my peers I'll do this and that. But at that age they don't really have that type of attitude. They're like, do right by me, I'll do right by you. Actually, for most of the part, they are quite selfish, and you need to teach them to be kind, right? That's why the child will just be like, give me that, and you have to be like, we ask first, and then I'm gonna give you, and you give it to them, and then you say thank you before you walk away. You teach them that part. And I remember with that interaction, or the few times that was happening, my mom was like, your sister's not like this with us as her parents. She's only like that with you. She is so loud only with you, because you keep getting loud as well. The more you hear her raising your voice, you want to go even higher than that, so that she remembers that you are older or whatever. And that's not how it's going to work. Treat her with respect and watch her treat you with respect. And the first few times it was a bit tricky, because obviously I still have an attitude of like, why is this child thinking she can just do that to me, or just take that from me, or just speak to me like that? But it got easier with realizing that, okay, she'll just snatch things from me because fine, she still has that feisty attitude that she expects me to come back with, like, hey, don't just take that from me. Until she'll do that and then calmly breathe in, breathe out, call the child again and be like, child, you don't just do that. Ask me. When you ask, check how I'm going to respond. And the next time they come and she asks, and I'm like, here, you see what happens when you ask? I actually give it to you. And then from there, the dynamics get better and better. But it's all to say it was really more than anything my fault. And generally, it is our fault how life responds to us. There are people that feel that everything is constantly going against them. And when you look at them from the outside, you feel like everything is really moving so smoothly for this person. And oh my goodness, they keep getting their promotions and they got a nice place to stay and they have a nice car and their child is so well behaved and they're so beautiful, they speak well, they look good, they know how to dress well. You're looking at them from outside and you're just like, oh my gosh, this person has everything going for them, and they have this angry attitude of nothing is working out for me, and they cannot see anything that's going right for them because of that. And I promise you that when you look at things from a different light of it's my fault, you calm down on so many things. There are instances where I've really been in rock bottom. Like, I think my most recent rock bottom is actually lower than a rock bottom that I had been in 3 years ago, thinking that that was hectic, hectic, hectic. But my most recent one was quite, it was a whole lot more worse than that situation. Like, when I look back at that rock bottom, I'm just like, but at least at that time you had this going and you had this going and you had this going, as compared to this time when things went flat. I really had no other option besides being calm and praying and having faith and, waiting on what I was supposed to wait for to come through for me. I had no choice but to do that, and I was in such a bad space, and it was difficult for me to be in that place positively. But honestly, the rock bottom that I was in now, it wasn't even that deep for me. It's just when I'm comparing it to the time where I really overreacted about the other rock bottom. Right now, I took it in so well, and I was just like, no, it's just seasons. Excuse me, there's nothing wrong. Seasons change. Life happens, life changes. It's not going to be constant, and it's not going to be the exact same thing every day, every time, every month, every week, every year. No. The same way I was 22 the other year and 25 the other year, life changes, life grows, and life moves. And the only thing that I'm supposed to learn how to do is make sure that my change matches progress. So if it means I wanted to go back to school and study, for instance, and I'm struggling to get the opportunity to do that, in the meantime, I'm going to make sure that I'm reading books, because generally books are what I'm going to be getting in school. So I'm making sure that I am ready and I'm prepared and I'm deserving of the opportunity to go to school and study further, because when I get that opportunity, I'm going to take it with the flow of I'm already used to reading books, highlighting from them, making sure I'm learning from them, studying them, making sure that I'm doing things differently moving forward. Because a lot of times people actually do go to school and then you come out of school and you don't remember any of the information that you learned from that, because you were just doing it just to pass. But then you still now need to go practically do the work, because you knew nothing what you were doing from school. You just did it so you can get the qualification, so you can get the chance to do it practically and have to be taught again from scratch, because you weren't really learning there. What you were doing was just taking in what you have to take in, or just doing what you have to do in order to get the paper, in order to qualify to get to do it from, and like to do it practically. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just a matter of preparing yourself for the things that you are praying for in order for you to actually deserve them, so that when you get them, you get to utilize that opportunity with a higher power. So this is why I'm saying there's so much power in knowing that it is your fault. There's nothing wrong with seeing things and realizing or being told that you are the reason why your relationship fell apart. You are the reason why you lost that job. You're the reason why your business is not growing. Ooh, that's another thing. Wow. People get into business and they don't take their businesses seriously and then get confused why there's no clients, or clients come but they don't come consistently because you're not consistent with it yourself, or there's no growth that you're doing with your business. So clients are demotivated when it comes to supporting you because they're just like, I'm not supporting a progressive person, so generally I just don't feel like I'm going to be a progressive person just in doing that in any way. So I spoke about this in the other video, I think one of the business videos that I had, and I said, like, one of the things, basically I'll just repeat it, but like one of the things that made my clients want to support me consistently is because they would see growth in what I was doing, and it made them feel like they're supporting someone that actually doesn't just need this, but is showing appreciation for what they're getting, right? So if in the beginning we were just all paying in cash, oh, now she's bought a card machine, which means that the money that we are putting into it, she's not just spending on vibes and groove and whatever, she's actually reinvesting in her business. Okay, I was supporting this person when she was in her parents' garage, and now she's working from a place where she's paying rent to do it, and she's consistently like paying the rent and making sure that her business is still running from there, right? And then I'm supporting a person that when I was with her from the beginning, she was staying at home, and now she moved out of home, and I've been to a place, and in the beginning she didn't have a bed, and now she has a bed, and that progress makes people want to be part of your progress. And in essence, it was actually me realizing it's my fault people don't want to work with me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that I show that I am deserving of you bringing your business this side, because when you bring it here, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it comes out right. I'm going to make sure that my service comes out correct, so that you feel that, yeah, that person deserves me going back and putting back my money into that place, right? So that's all that I had for you today, guys. Let's just remember that everything that we have going on in our lives is our fault. There's nothing wrong with realizing that your upbringing affected who you are today, and you're probably doing things in a certain way now because of trauma from where you're from and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's something wrong with you not making the choice to do things better for your future, because no one gets to affect your future. Your upbringing can affect where you are from and how you think about things now, but nobody gets to affect how you're going to think about things from today going forward, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below so that I can continue to learn. Also, please do like the videos, because they actually tell YouTube that this is great content and it's gonna help somebody else, right? Somebody else might need the mental health information, and you liking the video is going to help them receive the information as well, or help YouTube put the video in front of their faces as well. And also, just a reminder, I still do personal vision board workshops, so do make sure you do send me an email, and we can communicate about you getting your workshop done, and let's plan for our futures. Let's have a good vivid idea of where we're going in our future. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.